the Jack Homestead.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's dinner at the
Thursday.
Jack Homestead. It's Thursday night. Mrs. Jack made,
It is sort of like a chicken a la king, but I've added all kinds of things to it. I used one of our chickens that we have processed.
yep.
Mr. Jack is covered in bathroom material.
Well, that's another thing we can talk about.
So I cooked up a whole chicken and I tore it apart. We have leftovers, so we can make chicken salad for dinner or for lunch tomorrow. My sister had sent me a recipe and I said, oh, chicken a la king. And he said, I haven't had that in a long time.
It's
So
been a long time.
I used our chicken. I don't
Peppers
think,
from the store.
yeah, I don't think I used any of our garden vegetables. I think the only other thing that's ours in it is my chicken stock bone broth. But everything else is store-bought. I'm
So,
trying to use up my store-bought vegetables because right now I'm starting to, harvest
Cut.
the vegetables.
We're gonna start over.
What?
Yep.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Mr. Jack says I don't look into the camera.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. It's supposed to be like, I need to put like a face behind the phone so it acts like we're talking to somebody, which we are. We're talking to you guys. Anyway, back to the dinner thing. This is it was called Amish chicken a la king, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So. And it's just simple. I didn't have the egg noodles, but you could make it with any kind of pasta. So I used pasta that I had. The box was already open. Our chicken, I sauteed yellow peppers and mushrooms. And I did use our spices, garlic powder and onion powder that I made. And then you can add in whatever kind of, technically you're supposed to just use peas, but I threw in several vegetables in there. I do have homegrown peas, but I didn't want to use them because I want to can them up this week. I also have homegrown green beans, but I didn't want to use them. I want to can them up.
Money.
Again, I have a lot of, it's good. I have a lot of frozen stuff that I want to use, and then I'll use my canning stuff later.
I'm gonna show you guys this. Check that out. That's awesome. Very good. Thanks, Nisi, for the recipe. Thank you, Miss Jack, for cooking and doctoring it up a little bit. So, to talk about our week, well, let's see here. Let's see. We'll talk about the weather first. It's been just brutal hot.
No rain.
No rain. Our garden is getting inundated by
Bugs.
Japanese beetle. I don't know if you guys.
Cucumber beetles,
Yeah,
too.
cucumber beetles too. I don't know if you guys can, put a comment down below or something on what to do with them. We're trying not to use DE all the time, especially when things are starting to flower, so we
The
don't
DE really works, but now that things are starting to fruit and flower, that's not a good idea because it'll kill the pollinators. It'll kill your bees and the things that you do want in your garden. So we are struggling. We're hand picking stuff off. But everything is coming along. It's just a slow process, but from what I've talked to other gardeners in Pennsylvania, and they're suffering the same way. Stuff is growing, it's just stunted. With this weather, it's just been awful. So everything's just taking longer. We have to water sometimes twice a day. But we'll get there. I just am really hoping for a good tomato crop this year, and I don't know if that's going to happen because the tomato plants are all, I think we had discussed this before, but it's got the curly leaf. They're all closing up as much as we're watering.
Yeah,
It's just trying to conserve energy.
Yeah, no blossom drop yet though, thank God. But
Right.
it's just things are slow. This time last year we were harvesting, well not, Mrs. Jack was harvesting cucumbers and peppers, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Well, I just don't understand what's going on, but anyway, we got new meat birds. We told you about that last dinner time.
They're getting big.
They're getting big. That's
Eating a
actually
lot.
a full week and 1 day today that we got them.
Mm-hmm. How much longer do you think they'll have till they go out?
Probably another 4 to 7 days. Some of them have their wing feathers, some of them don't. So we're gonna wait on that. Mrs. Jack, she had a busy day today and this week. We did the garden tour video yesterday, and I'm uploading it as we are speaking now during this video. You gotta check it out. It's a good video. And
It's long though,
yeah,
right?
it's long. It's like 40 some minutes, but it's worth watching. It's a good time.
And you'll see the things that we're dealing with. I actually show the bugs and everything
Yeah.
caught in action.
So anyway, 1870s. We watched them last night, and she made syrup from daylilies. And you can eat the day. The whole plant is edible. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah,
We
we're
were
gonna
watching
try.
it. We're gonna try. I picked one today and ate it, and it was actually good. It had a crunch, like fresh lettuce, and it had a little bit of sweetness. It was pretty good. I was impressed.
Yeah.
But you eat a lot of them.
I learned something new. I had no clue. I have always had daylilies. Always. When at my old house, I had tons. They grow wild and all around Pennsylvania, and I had no idea they were edible. And she even said if you take the stamen out, it's like a honeysuckle. You
Yeah.
can suck on it, which I used to do when I was a kid with honeysuckle.
Mhm.
But I really, really would like to attempt to make syrup with it. She said it's very sweet syrup, almost like honey.
Like, yeah, butter
So-
and honey, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to, maybe
Grow
Mr. Jack
those.
and I will go foraging for some.
We got some out here, but not
Yeah,
enough.
not enough, yeah.
Not enough to do anything with. But, this week we worked on just trying to keep the bugs, watering the garden. Mrs. Jack, yesterday we had my stepbrother and his wife, Jeff and Edwina, and my stepmom down for dinner, and I made teriyaki chicken shish kebabs on the grill.
They were very good.
And Mrs. Jack made the rest. What else did we have? We had this new recipe. I'll let her tell you. She cooked it.
Well, I made a sweet corn, which was really good. Very simple.
And
It's actually a frozen corn that you use, but it's basically butter, honey, and a little bit of cream cheese. But it was really good. Yeah, I would definitely make that again. But what I did make that was homemade from the garden was I took our carrots from the garden, which are doing the best we've had so far.
yeah.
I took beets from our garden, and I roasted them with some little bit of olive oil in the oven, salt and pepper. Excuse me. And then when it was finished, I added some butter and Mr. Jack's homemade maple syrup, and tossed the carrots and the beets in that, and it was very good, everybody said.
Very good.
Then for dessert, Mr. Jack, I don't eat blueberries, but we have 2 blueberry bushes, and Mr. Jack has been fighting with the birds. They are getting his blueberries before he gets a chance to get them. So we did buy netting. We put netting over the blueberry bushes, but I had enough that I wanted to make him something so bad with his blueberries because I just haven't been able to do that with our blueberries yet. So I made him a blueberry, well, I made everybody, but a blueberry cobbler
And
yesterday.
It was banging.
And everybody really liked that. I didn't
good.
eat it, but everybody
Had
liked
a big
it.
fat scoop of
Vanilla ice cream.
on it. It was the best. And what I'll try to do is put the recipe for the corn and the recipe for the cobbler, because you can use any kind of fruit. Just follow the recipe and you can substitute.
There's
the fruit.
really no recipe.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm. All you're doing is coating a like 9x13 pan with like cooking spray. You put a layer of blueberries on the bottom of the pan, and then you take dry cake mix, vanilla dry cake mix, and you sprinkle that over the whole top of the blueberries. And then you take a can of either 7-Up or Sprite and you pour that over top so that the whole dry cake mix gets wet. You pop it in the oven.
You don't
and
want to
that was it.
You don't want to stir it. You just want
No,
to
do
that.
not stir it.
And I'll tell you what, it was the bomb.
Because all you're doing is making a crust on top of the blueberries. And of course the blueberries cook so they get mushy and creamy.
And it was gone by 9 o'clock that night.
Yeah.
Trust me.
The whole thing got eaten.
It was real good. So what'd you do today?
Mr. Jack's been helping me in the garden, which is really helping me. He watered for me, so I was able to get out there. I only have a short period of time that I can be out there due to the sun. So I went out and I harvested as much as I possibly could. I harvested kale, collard greens, and spinach. Well, not the collard greens, but the spinach and the kale are about to bolt. It is so hot. So I harvested all of that. I froze all of that. That's how I prefer to have it. It's easy to pull out of the freezer and pop it in a recipe, cook with it, whatever. But I have a whole lot already stored in the freezer. I harvested chamomile, which is drying for tea. I harvested
Collard green.
I did the collard greens. I froze them. I harvested a bunch of herbs, a lot of dill. I managed to refill my spice jar of my dill because I dehydrated everything today, all my herbs. So I filled up my spice rack with dill. I dehydrated a lot of basil. I dehydrated a lot of oregano. I dehydrated a lot of parsley. I dehydrated a lot of thyme. So I've gotten a really good start on, that's my first thing I always want to do with my herbs. Besides use them fresh when we have a recipe, I try to dehydrate them and fill up all my spice jars and usually give to people also. But then I'll just put them in jars so that as I run out of my spice jars, I'll have extra to fill. So I spent my day doing that, dehydrating and preserving, while Mr. Jack...
I worked on the bathroom, the one for the kids' bathroom. I'll put a picture up there.
The spare bedroom, or bathroom.
But anyway, I put the shower walls up today.
There was a lot of cursing going on.
Yeah, there was. It wasn't very fun. But yeah, I got that done. We're almost finished. I got to get some trim. And I got the faucet in. I got the shower hookup in.
It was mainly the walls you were putting in.
Yeah, mainly the walls putting up back up. So tomorrow, like I said, I'll get some trim tomorrow and get that finished up. And then Mrs. Jack will go in and do some touch-up painting, and hopefully things will work out. Because tomorrow, actually, tomorrow I'm going to hook the water up and do a test run on on the tub part, the bathtub side. Fingers crossed.
But 2 things that I want to talk about regarding my chickens. So, in the beginning of the week, we had an issue. One of my older girls, well, she's only a year old. I call them my older girls. He calls them the golden girls, our older group of chickens. I noticed we were sitting on the deck and I noticed her eye was swollen. So I immediately went and I picked her up, and our first thought was, oh, she must have got stung or bit by something, because it was just one eye, no other symptoms.
She
She
got
was
in a fight.
acting normal, but it was really swollen. So most people that have chickens know there's not many vets that will see chickens. So when you're a chicken owner, if something goes wrong, you have 2 choices. Either you usually try to fix it yourself, the problem, or you cull the chicken. That's not an option for me as far as my egg laying chickens, because they're like pets to me, so I
Well,
won't
yeah,
do that
and we
unless
try to-
they're
Regardless,
absolutely
we try to do preventative stuff first.
right.
They're not, well, and, you know,
Yeah,
take
and
care of
I
it.
just, it wasn't an option. So I was willing to do whatever we had to do. So I went on, there's a Facebook group for vets, chicken vets, online. And I went on there and I posted a picture, and it's supposed to just be vets
Which is
that
really good.
comment on your picture and tell you what's wrong and what you should do. Well, I immediately received a response, not from a vet, from an individual
who had chickens.
who has chickens, and their first words out of their mouth was, you need to cull your chicken and cull your entire flock, because she has a highly contagious respiratory infection, and it
Couldn't tell you
will,
what
all
it
your
was,
flock
some kind
will
of-
suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah, she named what it was. I had never heard of it, and I was beside myself.
I was at
Mr.
work.
Jack was at work, and
She
I was
texted.
messaging him, and I thought, oh no, I'm not going to be able to handle this. I cannot put all my chickens down. I was
And we
devastated.
just got 8 more.
Yeah, so I was devastated. But the good thing was a bunch of people immediately responded and said, no, you do not need to cull your chickens.
That's curable.
You know, that's curable. There's things you can do for that if that's what it is. So a vet did end up telling me different things that we could do. So we did give her antibiotics,
Yep.
which we had already on hand because we had a sick chicken before, and we bought an eye flush for her.
Yeah.
You can use People eye wash, so we did that. And we bought, it's called Vet RX, and to me, I would like to buy a whole bunch of those bottles, because I think that is what's really helping her. It smells like a Vicks, like Vapo Rub,
Yeah, like some type of
but it's liquidy. It's not like
Oily.
ointment.
oily.
Yeah, but it's real
Like a
thin.
oil. Yeah, it's real thin.
And we just wipe it on her comb, her wattles, her beak.
Under her wings.
Under her wings, and that is supposed to help if it is a respiratory illness.
And you can put it in their water too.
Right. Which we did for the rest of the birds, just in case. I heard also that people that show their chickens, that they use it also. So I knew it wasn't going to hurt, the chicken. So we were doing that, and knock on wood, she seems to be doing better. We actually, today was her first day that we let her out of the hospital.
Yep.
We made a coop. We have an extra coop. We
Wow.
call it the hospital.
Yeah, it used to be the Golden Girls coop, but everybody's in one coop now. So
Yeah.
we turned it into the hospital and
So,
recovery room.
I don't know if anybody that watches this, you have chickens, you might know what happened, what it was. if you have any suggestions, but she seems to be on the mend. We've been watching everybody else. We don't see anybody else with any symptoms. So knock on wood, I'm really hoping that is all that was and it's getting better, whatever it was. We still don't know. It could have just been a bite or something, who knows. But the second thing, so it was really hard for me. I had ordered new chicks they were supposed to hatch in the spring. And the hatchery, McMurray's, they got the bird flu, went around their hatchery. So my order was canceled. So I had to find another hatchery to get chicks.
Out of Maine, was it? Or New
No.
Hampshire,
I forget where this hatchery was, but so I ordered, I think it's My Pet Chicken, it's called. So I ordered from this hatchery, and when I received them, half of them I could tell were not going to make it, and they didn't. We only had 4 that survived out of those chickens. So I was devastated, but I thought, well, it is what it is. But Mr. Jack felt bad for me.
We went to Tractor Supply.
We went to Tractor Supply one day, not for chicks. We went there for food or feed or something.
Didn't have any, so I asked, because they usually keep some out back. Well, they had some green egg layers out back, and I bogarted 4 of them.
So I was told that they were all females, and they're called Starlight Green Eggers, because one of the chicks I was supposed to get was a green egg layer, and I didn't get it.
What was that one?
That was called a Green Queen egg layer.
Yeah, I thought she passed away.
Yeah, she did. She did pass away. So, we came home with 4 of these Starlight Green Eggers from Tractor Supply, being told they were all female. Now, I did get to pick the ones out that I wanted. They basically all looked the same, but there was 2 that I thought looked unusual, so I picked them. AZ, our granddaughter, was with, and one of them, she pointed out and said, that one looks like buttered popcorn. And I said, oh, that would be a good name, Popcorn, for our chicken, because we name all of our chickens after chicken food. So we got that one, and then I got another one that was really lighter than the other ones. So now that they have grown, they all thrived. Now that they are grown, the really light one that was different than the other ones seems to be growing different than the other ones. It has a bright red comb, it has red wattles, and the other
Bigger.
3
Right.
have pink, very light pink.
And
they don't
haven't
have red.
pronounced yet.
And that chicken also just developed 2. It's a beautiful chicken. It's black and white, but the tail feathers are like blue and green, and I thought that's unusual. Usually female chickens aren't as colorful, just like any bird. Actually, most animals are like that, but birds in particular, the males are usually much brighter and prettier than the female birds.
Right.
So I thought that's strange because it's got bright colors. Usually that's a male. Well, it developed these 2 feathers on top of the tail that are actually starting to point down, overlapping them all and hanging down,
curl.
which is also a sign of a
Straight,
rooster.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh no. Anybody that knows me knows I am terrified of roosters, and I don't want any. Mr. Jack has been trying to talk me into a rooster,
They help
and I
protect the
can't do
flock
it.
and stuff, and
I'm terrified of roosters. It took me a long time to
Yeah.
even decide to
but
get chickens.
If he doesn't behave, he'll end up in the soup pot. I hate
So
to say it,
we're not
but
100% sure yet
Yeah.
that it is a rooster, but I did post pictures of it in my chicken group,
it's
and
about 50-50.
yeah, I got half and half with, you know, some are saying female, some are saying male. It has not crowed yet, but I'm not even going to go by that because I have a female chicken that crowed for me not long ago, and I almost had a heart
I
attack.
didn't witness it, so I can't back her up on that.
My head spun around when I
They
heard
say
it.
it's possible.
But so we'll see. We might have a rooster.
Yeah. And his name is going to be General So,
Mm-hmm.
if it's a rooster. So, guys, listen. Normally, I videotape the making of the dinner tonight. We've been, like I said,
Busy.
super busy today. Couldn't get that tape, but I hope you enjoyed our discussion on our weekly chores and activities that we did this week. Oh, by the way, after dinner we're going to get ice cream because it's like 90 degrees out, and that's just, you know, we're getting ice cream. Anyway, listen, you guys have a good week. Be safe. Be kind to one another.
Thank you
and
for
God
hanging
bless
out
you.
with us.
Thank you for hanging out. Yes. Hey, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share too.
Check out the garden tour video
Yes.
that's going to be out.
Yes, the garden tour video should be out, I'm hoping, tonight. And I'm going to have the grill review here probably in the next week. So, again, have a good day and have a good week. And be good to each other. Bye-bye.